y'all, it's time for Rolling Dice and Taking Names. In this episode, the guys review Cyclades, Rajas at the Ganges, Cards and Karma, and Strawberry Shortcake. Plus, there is a taste buds for a new Nutty Buddy cream pie. Do we have a replacement for moon pies?
Hello and welcome to another riveting episode of Rolling Dice and Taking Names. This is episode number 350, Time in a Bottle. I'm Tony.
Riveting. I don't know if anybody else ever used that adjective about this show, but hey, this is Marty. Wow, 350. I guess this is would this be a milestone episode at this point?
Yeah.
The 350, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you think about comic book values, anything with the zeros, other than the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, any of the big,
So anything in the 50s.
Yeah.
50, 100, 150. Yeah, okay.
Something divisible by 50.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Anyway, but yes.
I guess everything's divisible by 50, but it has to be a whole number.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
right.
we've eliminated the decimal place.
350 episodes. That's pretty wild.
That's why it's time in a bottle. If somebody for 12 years could go back, and not that they ever would, and listen to all 12 years of RDTN, they'd hear our time in a bottle.
So years from now, will you ever go back and pull up these old episodes and go down memory lane?
If I need teaches for games, yes.
We don't exactly teach them that well, but sure.
But it's a memory refresh. When you play certain games, you just maybe need a memory refresh versus because you've already played them and it'll come back to you. I'll admit, without Prevagen, it may not come back as quickly.
Sure.
But yes, I would do that, assuming that you're still going to pay for the server when we shut the lights off, which I'm assuming you're not going to do.
So it's funny that you say that because I was thinking about that day. Whenever the lights go out, where does the episode go? Now, thankfully, a long time ago, I set it up so that every episode ends up as a podcast on YouTube, our YouTube channel. So YouTube is free. In theory, as long as that YouTube channel is active, then people can always go back and listen to our episodes via YouTube.
That's also time in the bottle as well. Seeing how you and I have changed over the years. I look at our very first shots, because it's still on my drive at work, when we were in the game store and we took our very first RDTN publicity shots, and I just giggle. It's just so sad.
I remember those. That was at your local game store in Matthews. I remember those. Yeah, that was fun. Publicity headshots. That was great.
Now it's just like, oh man, we were young. We were so freaking young. But hey, that's what 350 riveting episodes of board game dice reviews, discussions, running the gambit from barbecue to lawnmowers to music to which I'm still getting Phil Collins in the Air reactions popped up on my YouTube. I need to delete those. I'm tired of those coming up. Something else I just learned. Emily in Paris. Do you know the show?
I've never watched it. I know the show.
That's his daughter.
That's Phil Collins' daughter's the actress?
Is it her name Amy Collins? I'm going to type on my keyboard while you think through this.
I've heard the name, and that's pretty much it. I think it's on streaming. Is it Netflix? I don't know. I know of the show, but that's pretty much it because I think it pops up on, if it's Netflix or whatever. Hey, there's a new season of Emily in Paris sort of deal. So
yeah, Lily Collins. He's got two daughters and, all that fun. I'm like, who is she in? And it's just like, I did not know that.
I guess from the Drumeo interview, his son's a musician.
Yeah, Nick.
He plays in several bands. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was featured in a Drumeo episode. I don't know if you watched the other Drumeos where they bring in drummers and they hear the drumless tracks.
Yes.
And they have to come up with their own. Yeah. So he did one of those.
Oh, I bet that was cool. Okay.
I saw, speaking of that, I saw today that John Stamos did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they went to his house and he did one of those drumless track things. And it was cool. It was cool watching him do it.
Oh, I bet. That man doesn't age.
Did you know that he plays for the Beach Boys?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, for years and years and years, he is the regular drummer for the Beach Boys.
Well, good for him. See, look. So even after the not the Facts of Life, why did that tune just pop into my head?
The Facts of Life. No, okay, I can think of the theme song of it. What the heck was that show he was in? With Lori Loughlin?
Full House.
David Kool-Aid, thank you.
The thing you always did, cut it out.
Dave Kool-Aid, yeah. That's hilarious.
I did not know that. Okay,
Full
well, that's
House.
cool. Man, we're not as riveting as we were in episode number 349 right now, but been dealing with some things around here. One of the things that you learn as you get older is you learn how various appliances work and when to repair them and when not to repair them. Also, it helps due to your age saying, I'm not crawling in and trying to pull in and out a dishwasher. I'm not going to be able to manage that. Well, my refrigerator the other day came up with a code on it. SYEF, and it's on the display where the ice and water comes out. And I go, SYEF.
But don't you love it when these codes pop up that the consumer, the user has no clue what it is, basically pretty much requiring you to contact a service person to figure out what it is, yeah.
Yeah. And Google's an amazing thing. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, is it trying to communicate to me? Is it trying to tell me something that, like, call 911 or something, that there's something with the, and it was called the appliance repair people. And I look it up and it goes, the evaporator circuit has failed. That doesn't sound good. And then it disappears. So I got a long warranty on it. And so I call up the warranty people and they schedule up the people to come out. They come out and of course the code disappeared and goes, well, do you have a picture of it? And I go, no, I didn't grab a picture. I didn't think about it. He says, well, sir, there's nothing I can do about it.
Oh my Lord.
Can't you like they do on your car, plug things in and it can tell you things? He's like, no, that's not how this works. So it finally came back on and now it's staying on. And basically the evaporator fan circuit boards, or actually it's the main circuit board of the refrigerator, has failed. And therefore the fan will not run and pull cold air out of the freezer up to the refrigerator.
Okay.
Did you know you're not supposed to eat eggs if they get above a certain temperature?
Yes.
And yogurts?
Well, I mean, I've never stored yogurt or eggs out in room temp, so it's always been in the fridge.
Well, when your refrigerator dies, those temperatures go up and you can play roulette with it.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, we actually had our refrigerator die last year.
Oh.
It was easier than what yours was. It was a switch. It was some sort of switch that had worn out and wasn't turning on the compressor. That's what it was. It wasn't turning on the compressor. Yep.
Donna said, no, you cannot. I'm like, why not? Why can I not eat? What? Well, I don't want to throw, these eggs are gold.
It's not as bad as they used to be. They've really come down in price. They're normal price around here now.
They are? Okay. I was at the Teeter today and they were still $3. Well, they used to be 99 cents a dozen and now they're $4.99, but that's okay. Anyway, so the guy comes out, he says, now I can do something. Let me order you the part, which they were supposed to order a week ago when I first came out here because I knew it was going to die. They forgot to order it because they couldn't order it because if it didn't die, then they have to end up paying for it and they don't have any way to recoup the costs from the warranty company. Therefore, we now have to put the order in. And oh, by the way, we have no idea when it's going to come in.
So you just got food that's going to start spoiling in your fridge. So do you have a backup fridge?
I do have the garage fridge. I also have an old dormitory fridge.
Good. My old dormitory fridge is in my office at work.
Mine used to be, but I was told I can no longer have it there.
Oh, yeah. So it is kind of a building thing. And it's like when the guy I work for got one in his office, I said, oh, we can have those? He went, yeah. I said, thank you. So it's like next weekend, I hauled mine in there and it's like, oh, it's so nice just to open the fridge, pull out a drink. I keep all my meals in there and stuff. It's great.
My lunch doesn't have to congregate with all the other moldy stuff in the communal fridge.
Right. You ain't got to deal with the monthly message on the fridge. Clean out the fridge. And if it's in here at the end of the day, we're throwing it away sort of deal.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be me because we've got a bunch of people who don't do that. But yeah.
350 episodes, y'all. See? And people are like, oh my gosh, how did y'all get to 350? We just listened to them talking about having to repair their refrigerator. How is this entertainment?
It's not.
It's not. Which is why on our Discord channel, literally, we don't talk hardly about games, y'all. It is constant, man. It's stuff. People bring up, well, this sucks in our grumpy section. My fridge just died. Oh, I've had that happen before. My fridge dies. Y'all, that's 75% of our conversation. The channel is life. It's just like, it's literally our RDTN Discord server is basically life support for everybody that just gets through their everyday challenges and trials.
That's it. And shoot, somebody even said, so what happened to you? What's wrong with your sourdough? Let me help you out. I had success, but recently, as a matter of fact, today I had a great sourdough, but I was getting, people were volunteering. Well, my wife does it all the time. Let me get her on here. She can talk about recipes and stuff. I'm like, see, there you go. Board gaming is a side gig of our gig, which is providing whatever we provide here. I don't know what we provide.
I keep wondering, should we just pivot to something else within the podcast and have the central part of the show not be board games? That's just an auxiliary part, you know?
So the intro can be board games, and then this can be the central part.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh, yeah, we hadn't talked about in the board game while. Let's talk about that. Oh, that's funny. However, with all the stuff that's going on, you know, it's like, it's not like going to be a lot of new board games coming out for a while. So we need to fill up the space with something else. So, Hey, you know, we talked about before going back and playing games that we've covered in the past. Now that we're 350 episodes in, some people thought, hey, why don't you go back and play a game from a decade ago and see if it still holds up today? So we may be able to start doing stuff like that because our queue of new games to play is going to start dwindling because they're just not going to come out as frequently.
Right. As a matter of fact, Miniature Market, plug for Miniature Market, go where you can get all your gaming needs. That's miniaturemarket.com.
Can this be the ad?
This can be. I think so.
Oh, good. This is the ad. Yay! This means Aaron got recorded at the end.
Well, seriously, I think this can be the ad. So,
all right, talk to me.
Yeah, so Nicole, you know, she can contact us and say, no, this wasn't the ad, guys. We're going to dock you. But anyway, so... Right. So there's a card game we're going to talk about either in this episode or in the next episode that we recently played, but it sold out on Amazon called Skyjo. Okay. Uh-huh. I was like, okay, I really want this game because I'm going to be going on vacation again and be on a ship and I really want to play it. I went to Amazon, sold out. I'm like, okay, well, let me check out what's going on over at Miniature Market. And and they had this huge sale going on.
Okay.
I stumbled onto it. And well, I needed my GameGenic folder for my Star Wars. So I ordered that up.
Sure. What color did you get?
I think I got the right one. This seems a little big.
That is huge. That's the 480.
Yes. While Marty checks this other one, I'm like, did I get the right one?
You want the 360.
Well, I got the 480.
Well, that's fine. You got a lot of extra space for storage. But yeah, it's the 360 will hold a complete set. That is GameGenic. What's that called? This could be an ad for GameGenic, even though they don't pay us anything. This is the casual album, 18 pocket, holds 360 sleeve cards.
And I got the casual album, which is 24 pocket.
Yeah, 18 pockets, what you want. 9 per page. You got 12 per page.
Yeah, that's why it came in a bigger box. I'm sitting there going, why is this thing? It doesn't seem right. But anyway, 480 based on some of the cards I got. I'm like, okay, doesn't matter. I'm not going to return it. Not that I'm sure I could, but yes. So I ordered that. I ordered the game. And then I was also, this is a huge sale. And I picked up, I believe it was the game El Grande where we put the meeples in.
Yeah. The new version?
Yeah, the new version. Mm-hmm. It was 65% off. I said, I love that game.
Whoa! So how much was it total?
$22.
That's amazing.
I'm pretty sure
that's one of those. That's one of those classic games we covered last year. That it's like, yeah, this is staying in the collection. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy El Grande. Man, that's a good deal. $22. Did you get over the free shipping, which is at $75?
It's back to $99, by the way, because I checked it.
Oh, they shifted back. Did you use our affiliate code, which you can find at rolldicetechnames.com?
I did.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
I didn't.
Oh, you always see my browser. The link to Miniature Market is basically that link.
I wasn't sitting at my computer. I was on my phone waiting for my wife to finish up at her eye doctor appointment because we were on our way to Savannah, and therefore,
gotcha.
I should have thought about going to the RDTN thing. Hey, look, we talked about this at 50.47 on our show. It's posted right there.
50.47. What?
On the timestamp on our episode where they have it posted, where we reviewed it.
Oh, that's right. So all of our reviews, I don't know if you guys know this, but for every game that we review, at the bottom of the product page of the game, you can actually go and click our review and it'll go straight to that point in the episode where we did the review, which is kind of slick.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lied. 22. It was $29.99 normally, so it was $10 off. I was thinking, but it's still
That's still good.
That's still a great deal. And the 24 pocket was only $17. I'll have to say.
Oh, the other one's only a couple dollars less. So
Yeah.
it's not that big of a.
So I'm thinking maybe, but so head over to miniaturemarket.com for all your gaming needs. There you go.
Oh, that's funny. That's
All
funny.
right, check that off the list.
That's right. Hey, you know what? Last episode, we teased something. We teased the taste buds. So you got it ready over there?
It's ready.
All right.
Taste buds. Taste buds. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. Two incredible stuff. Taste buds. They're just a bunch of.
All right, last episode, we teased a brand new product from Little Debbie, the Soft Bake Nutty Buddy Cream Pies. So Vanessa had picked up a box of these, and I brought one to Tony. I opened one up and I cut it in half because I didn't want to eat the whole thing. And the chocolate was it's a little soft. So actually, since we started recording, it's been in the freezer. So now it's like, it's all nice and firm. But you got half of one too. So what we got here, it looks almost like a cookie, like a moon pie. I mean, this really looks a lot like a moon pie. Chocolate covered cookie with, I assume this is peanut butter in the middle.
Oh yeah. If I had the whole thing, I would not be recording 351 because Donna would have my head. She goes, "What is that?" I go, "It's the new Nutty Buddy." She loves peanut butter stuff. Oh,
Why would she have your head?
because if I ate the whole thing and she couldn't try it,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's why I did it. Half for me, half for Vanessa.
there you go. See, always give, never take.
Do you like the regular Nutty Buddies?
Love that. That was my staple. Okay, if I rank all the Nutty Buddy products.
What do you mean? There's more than one Nutty
Not Nutty,
Buddy
I'm sorry, the Little Debbie products.
Little
Thank
Debbie.
you. The top four I could take any time, but probably number one for me will always be the soft vanilla cake with the raisins on them. I love those.
Wow, I haven't had that in forever. I can't. Were they
Raisinets,
called raisin
not
cakes?
Raisinets.
Raisin cakes.
Whatever. It's a cake with little raisins, and no one else in my house would eat them because
that's not a very popular one.
I love them. But I love the soft white cake. You know that
That's good. I like raisins. Raisins are very polarizing.
Yes, there's an everybody needs a Nutty Buddy giveaway on the Little Debbie site right now. Holy cow! People,
so I forgot about that one. So Nutty Buddies in your top five. That one. What else?
oatmeal cream pies.
And in 350 episodes, I'm sure we've talked about this before too.
Oh yeah, oatmeal cream
pies. Yeah.
Swiss cake rolls.
There you go. Yeah.
And then the original Nutties.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good list right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want to see if this cracks the top five for us?
I don't even have to tell you if it's going to. It's going to be probably number one. It's got
right,
a soft cake. Sign me up.
So mine's a little firm because it's in the freezer.
Got that crunch of the old wafer.
Yep. The cake is not as soft as a moon pie.
No.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it tastes like a Nutty Buddy. I mean, it tastes like a chocolate-covered peanut butter snack.
That's all it is. Yeah. It's because you don't have the wafer crunch. You don't have that wafer taste. Also, there's more chocolate to this than the original because of the wafers. You know, it doesn't. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, my gosh, y'all, this is good.
What is that? What is that
if y'all
TV
like
show?
Peanut butter. Y'all have got to try this.
There's that TV show, I think it's on USA, Me and My 600-Pound Life or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this would get me there. I could chew down on these all freaking day.
A third of a cookie is 130 calories. A third.
You ain't going to eat a third.
A half. I think a half's more than a third.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to stop at a third. If you like peanut butter.
God. I could eat a whole one. That was good.
Like I said, this.
Holy cow. This ranks up there as one of the best taste buds ever.
It's up there with durian.
Oh.
No, this is good.
Oh. Bravo, little Debbie. Wow. Y'all, we devoured that.
It's not going to hang around.
Oh, my gosh. All right. I think between this and the regular Nutty Buddies, I still think if you handed me both of those, I would still take the regular Nutty Buddy because I love the crunch. I do love wafers.
See, for me, it would be this just because I like the softer. I love them both, but yeah.
Oh.
Hold on. I got to enter my information for the Nutty Buddy giveaway.
Oh, was it? What are they giving away?
Enter your chance to win a Little Debbie. Everybody needs a Nutty Buddy giveaway. We'll have the chance to win a Little Debbie Nutty Buddy pack featuring new Nutty Buddy cream pies and wafer bars. Winners will be notified of their winning. So basically, you're going to get free food, 15 people. So none of y'all go out there and do that.
So what you need to do is send me the link, and during this upcoming commercial break, I'll go fill it out.
Okay. I will do that. All right, you heard us talk about Race to Berlin that's coming out from Portal Games. And if you head over right now, there's not a lot of time left, to their GameFound page, throw a little money in the pot. Let's get that thing over the 13,000 mark. Let's get this thing funded and see where it ends up. It's one of those games. Marty and I got to play a demo of it. And for a 2-player, it was surprisingly different than other types of war games we've played. I like how the game gave me the feels of the actual Race to Berlin in the time we were playing. Now, this is not a short game, but I like the concept of you against another player controlling a different army and trying to stall them while you try to push your way into Berlin. Tons of strategic decisions to be making with how and when to move your troops around, trying to cut people's exits off. Race to Berlin, I think, hopefully it will get funded. So be sure to head over to his GameFound page, Race to Berlin. Sign up for all the announcements from Portal Games. Check out his weekly blog. Heck, I don't even think it's weekly anymore, Marty. I think he's coming out every day, it seems like.
He is. And I really, too, enjoyed this game. It's really cool where somebody's playing as the Soviets, somebody's playing as U.S., but each of you are also controlling German armies. So if I am playing as the U.S. and want to attack Tony as Russia, I actually take my turn to use the German armies instead. But Tony, I love the action selection. You have these tiles that only you can see that have numbers on them. Those numbers not only dictate the strength of the units in that area, but it's the number of actions you're going to get to spend during that turn. So it's a combo usage of spending action cubes based on the value of that tile, how many you can spend, and then once all those tiles are resolved or expired, then a new round starts. So the whole action mechanic, I think, is really cool too.
So head over to shopportalgames.com.
Five-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Marty, do you remember these games? Raiders of the North Sea, Explorers of the North Seas, Paladins of the West Kingdom. You know
Oh
that?
my gosh. I love those games. I like most games from Shem Phillips.
Yeah, Shem Phillips. I mean, when you hear Shem Phillips, you think of those. You think of those incredible worker placer type games.
Meaty.
It's going
Meaty games,
yes. It's a meat and potatoes kind of game. Well, he went out and designed a game. Y'all get ready for this. Strawberry Shortcake, Berry Besties Bakeoff card game. You go, Shem.
Oh, so here's the thing. This game was offered to us, and if we'd have looked at the title, we would have said, no thanks. But we saw it was by Shem Phillips?
Shem Phillips.
I was like, we've got to try this. So we got to play it.
Yeah, I mean, and this is from Maestro Media.
Maestro Media?
I like Maestro. You're right, Maestro.
Okay.
Maestro Media. When I saw this and I was reading, I'm like, oh, it's a tile laying game.
It's not really tiles, it's just square cards.
Right. And you're placing them out in a 4x4 grid. When we first like, how meaty can this be? All right.
I sucked at this game, man.
Well, first off, you're going to score points based on personalities in a row or icons in a column. And you also have a secret recipe that if you meet that secret recipe, you're going to get some additional points. The person with the most points wins the game. How do you put people or icons in this tableau that you say? Well, you have a hand of 4 cards, and before you is 5 cards on the table at the marketplace, depending on the number of players, of course. And you're going to pick secretly from your hand a card that's going to be your bid to get those cards, get a card from the center. The lower number gets to pick first. Straightforward, simple. You do that, then you pick up the card that you want, you place it in your tableau, and if that card has an icon that's already in your tableau or a person, you must place them next to it. You can't just put it out there in willy-nilly land out in Strawberry Shortcakeville. But if there isn't, then you may place it in your 4x4 tableau wherever. The cards that were used for bidding, now you discard the ones that weren't picked, place the ones that were used for bidding, and fulfill the marketplace according to its full value. Okay, we talked about rainbow and love that concept. This is the same type of concept. So even though you use that card to bid with, you might be able to, if you play right, get it back to help you build out your tableau. I watched us have more AP on which cards to bid with. I mean, it surprised me. It is a simple game, ages 8 and up. They can definitely play it, but there's some strategy here.
You're thinking, well, this card that I'm getting ready to put out on the table is going to be available in the market next time. And if it's something that might be useful to me, do I have another card in hand that I could use to bid with to try to grab that card back? And when you get down to only 1 card left, basically that just goes in your tableau. So you're also thinking the last card in my hand will be in my tableau. So you're trying to think, I want to make sure to keep the right one for the end. And basically this is played over 4 rounds because at the beginning of the next round, you're going to be dealt 4 new cards. So essentially each round you're putting 4 cards in to build your 4x4 grid. And then at the end, you're just going to count sets, all the same characters in a row. It's like 2 points for 2, 5 points for 3, and 4 more is 8. Same thing for the column. There's little icons or symbols on the card. You're going to count up matching ones in the column, and it scores the same way. The scoring and everything's simple. The placement is very simple, but you're right. It's the bidding that where you'll take your time trying to think the best way to do this. You know what I ended up doing? Somehow, I ended up with a column with all the same character. All the same characters are supposed to be in a row. I don't know what I was doing.
So the recipes gives you an additional +4. But if you get 4, I mean, there's this point break that you have to weigh against. Do I try to complete my recipe for only 4 points? Or am I getting enough characters to where I can get those additional points by having 4 in a row? And some of the cards have double icons or double characters on them. So you need to keep that. Now, and also keep in mind, you don't have to necessarily have them adjacent unless it's a secret recipe. It may state otherwise.
So for example, my secret recipe was if you have the same character in each corner, then you'll get 4 points.
Yeah. Mine was having 7 icons touching.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
I was very surprised by this. We joked about it. We kidded, but I could definitely see, and when we were, this is one of those little fun family games, simple scoring, easy, but there is strategy, and there would be the teaching of the bidding that could step you up into something like Rainbow, another card game that we love. So I enjoyed playing the game. I mean, unfortunately for me, I don't have young kids in the house, so it's not one that would come off the shelf. But I think if you have young gamers in your house, take a look at this. You'd be very surprised by it. It's a shim.
That's right, and it plays like a shim. And the shim part to me is the whole bidding mechanic. Mm-hmm. And by the way, just so you know, the cards range from value of 1 to 104. Each of those are unique values, so you don't have like any double values or anything like that. So when you're staring at your hand, you got a really low number. You want to make sure I want to use this at the right time to get the exact card I want. Yeah, this was a hit for me too. I'm so glad we played it, and it's so cool that Shim is making little card games like this.
So that is Strawberry Shortcake, the very Besties Bakeoff card game.
5-minute initiative is complete.
In our continuing of play of some classic games that are being remade, we tried out Cyclades, the Legendary Edition from designer Bruno Cathala, Ludovic Maublanc. This is from Studio H. And Tony, this was one of these classic games that originally came out in 2009 that we've never played. Well, I haven't played it. Had you played it before?
I've never played this. Never played it. Never even knew about it.
This is an extremely classic area controlled dudes on a map style game that I'm pretty sure it's like, well, that's fine. Area controlled dudes on a map. But Tony, to me, what makes this one stand out is the whole bidding auction mechanic at the beginning of each round to determine basically what action that you're going to be able to do during that round.
Mm-hmm. It looks pretty cool. I'll give it that.
It looks great on the table. You assemble the maps together. And so here's the thing. We play with the retail version. I know during the Kickstarter, there was one with all the epic plastic pieces and everything like that. So ours was standees. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that because I didn't need the nice little ships and everything. We just had little cardboard tokens to represent ships and goods and all that. And I think that's fine. Honestly, the one with all the plastic looked almost too busy for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I could see it being on the board being that way. You got all these little miniatures floating around. Matter of fact, we didn't really pull a lot of miniatures out there. All right, so Dudes on a Map game, for me, when I first play them, it comes into a turtling game for me.
Same.
I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to give somebody easy victories. I mean, to get the victory, you have to develop.
Metropolises.
I was going to say civilization. You got to get 3 of them.
There's a couple different ways to get them. Yeah, the goal is to try to get 3 metropolises. First person to do it wins the game.
Right. One of the ways is if you, on your turn, you are allowed to build various structures based on the god. And this is the part that we'll spend time about, is about the god selection, the bidding mechanism. You can always build one of these buildings. And if you get 4 different types, then you will be able to put in a metropolis out. Another way is if you collect 4 philosopher cards, a metropolis card can come out. And then another way is by possibly one of the god powers. You can, like I had one that says, there's various powers in the god deck that allow you.
Heroes.
Sorry.
Heroes, not gods. You're
right.
bidding on gods. It's the hero deck. Yeah. You can actually purchase heroes to use. And those are standees represented on the board that usually give you an ongoing ability. But at the bottom, they'll say, oh, by the way, well, if you turn in this, like I think yours was like
15.
Turn in 15
gold
pieces and you earn basically a metropolis.
Right. So there you go. Or you can earn it if you suddenly take over someone else's land
that has a metropolis. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once a metropolis is built, it could be controlled by anybody. So you could come in, it's like, I'm just going to take over this area and has a metropolis. And hey, that happens to be my third. I win the game.
Yay, me. So, all right. So let's get to this god selection thing.
Yeah.
So on the first person, he can go out there and he is going to bid to pay homage, pay offerings, to tithe to this god, and he'll place his pawn out there at a certain cost. He can put 0, 1, and it escalates on up to, I believe it was 25. 25 gold.
Yes.
At the beginning of the game, gold is tight.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and the way you get gold is there's little cornucopias on the board, and if you control a cornucopia, you get to have an income phase, and you get to pull it. So you get this income phase going at the beginning, and then we'll go out there and we'll select a god. All right, I've put my little pawn out there, and Zeus is looking pretty good to me because I want his special powers. So I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there for 3.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Tony, that, I don't know, I was kind of wanting to go for Zeus.
Oh,
too.
You were?
So, yeah, so I'm going to take my marker, and I'm going to put it, I really want this. I'm going to put it on the 7 spot. Actually, I'm going to jump a couple and put it there. So now, immediately, you must take your piece that you put out there, and you got to place it on another god, but it can't be on the same one that it came from.
Oh, darn you. Okay, fine. You want to play like that? You know what? I think I'll just go up here, and I see we got a couple people behind me that are going to do a selection. I'm going to make it hard on them. I'm going to put it 5 on Ares because, God of War, I want to build some army. I want to put some army people out there. I'm going to put it on 5. Now, depending on the number of players will depend on how many gods are going to be flipped over.
Yeah, so there's always one god that's always there. That's Apollo. Mm-hmm. It's always in play. We'll just talk about the 4-player configuration. Apollo's visible along with 3 others, but there's 5 gods total, so 2 of them aren't used each round. So you don't have access to all the gods. So that means somebody's always going to have to take the Apollo, and Apollo is free to go there, and it's a way to get some quick gold and add some prosperity tokens to your board, but it doesn't really do anything special, but it will always be picked. And it's usually down to the person that's like, well, everything's too expensive right now. I can't afford to place my piece anywhere to do one of the other god abilities, so I'll just go here. Go last this round. But then the order of bidding the next round is reverse order. So whoever gets Apollo will get to bid first next round. And whichever god is at the top of the stack, basically that's been bid on, will go last in bidding the next round.
Right. We've all got our bids out there. Now we're going to resolve these gods. They all have special. Poseidon, he's going to let you, you always get to possibly put Poseidon's going to let you put some ships out there. Ships are needed to cross, navigate the water. You can build a chain that can lead to other islands. There's ship battles in this. So you always have something mandatory that you must do if you can.
Yeah. And one of those is put a building out. This is where, because Poseidon puts out blue buildings, and blue buildings give you a bonus in fleet battles. Ares puts out red buildings. Ares gives you bonuses in land battles. Then there's one, it's like you can put out any color that you want.
Right. Zeus, it's a temple to Zeus, and he reduces the cost of the monsters.
Yes. And you also get priestesses, which reduce the cost of your bid. The more priestesses you have, if I have 2 priestesses and I bid 5, I only have to pay 3.
Mm-hmm. So Zeus is pretty good. All of them are really good to let you do stuff. But if someone is being a real pain in the butt and taking the same one over and over and over, it might slog the game down. I don't know who would have done that in our game, but they did. Okay, it was me. I was really hosing up people in the ability to do battle. So you're doing all that, and then you have the option. You can, let's go to Poseidon. Well, if I pay a gold, I can get another ship. If I pay 3 gold, I can get another ship. And if I pay an additional 5 gold, they're around that range. Then I can get 3 ships. So technically, I can put out a whole bunch of ships with Poseidon. Then I have an option of you
can move those ships too.
Yeah, to move the ships, right? So now I can pay a gold to move the ships. I can go ahead and do that. I can pay an additional gold to move them too. Oh, and then I can also buy a monster. Okay, monsters are going to allow special things to happen. There may be instant actions, or they may go out on the board and start wreaking havoc on people's sea lanes, like somebody did to me. That's part of the game. That is what you're doing. And then the gods all have their different capabilities. But so mandatory, optional, buy a monster.
And again, they all do something different depending on what you're trying to achieve or get or whatever. And also, like I said, that 2 of these gods will always be face down. So what happens is at the end of the round, the god that's at the top will go down to the bottom and go face down. So let's say that was Athena, which is used for building universities, the white building, and giving you philosopher cards. Remember we said you get to 4 philosopher cards, you can build a metropolis. Well, basically, she's going to go away for 2 entire rounds. So this is really interesting too, but it's like, oh geez, I've got no white buildings on the board. So I've really got to fight for Athena before she goes away for 2 rounds. That part of the bidding mechanic I think is really cool, not having all the gods available every round.
I agree. I think that was pretty wild. But I would like to argue with the point on that it also slowed us down tremendously.
You're talking about the bidding part of the game?
I know, the having the minimum gods out there, certain gods. Only Poseidon could do the ship.
Yeah, but see, I think that's the charm of the game. I do agree with the slowing down. So that's kind of how the building works. Would you say that the dudes on the map area control stuff is very generic? I'm going to build forces. I'm going to move forces. We're going to fight. How do you fight? How many forces you got on the board? That's your strength. How many forces I got on the board? That's my strength. Are there any bonuses from here or anything like that? Okay, add that up. Roll. Who has higher? Oh, I do. That means one of your forces must be destroyed. Do you want to treat or want to keep going? Hey, Marty, let's keep going. And you go back and forth, back and forth. Mm-hmm. All that's kind of plain vanilla.
Yes.
We've seen this stuff before. So that part of the game is very familiar to any other type of area control game where you're trying to build armies and move them around the board. What's unique is this bidding mechanic on these actions, and you can only do certain actions each turn. So not every action is going to be available to you. Yeah. When you really need to build an army, and I can't pay for Ares, then I'm just screwed till I can.
And I guess, we could stop there for me.
Yeah.
As far as the
I
game
agree.
goes. I mean, the shenanigans in our game came with the monsters. It came with the heroes, being strategic and placing your metropolises. How are you going to protect your sea lanes? All that stuff is there. But I think what happens is, and I saw this, I didn't have the opportunity to move the boats I had built to be able to build them until Poseidon came back up. But then y'all really wanted him. So then it became, well, I'm just going to sit here in my little world and collect resources until I dumbly find some way to do this, you know? Oh, wait, I can build a metropolis. Oh, wait, I just got outbid. Crap, because I can't get that building now. Oh, wait, somebody just came in and took over all my land. Luckily, boom. Okay, there I lost 2 colors of the metropolis. Got to start that whole process over again. We turtled too much in that game, and I think that's what left kind of a sour gummy
taste.
Yeah, sour gummy taste in my mouth.
So I agree. I think, and this is probably a game group thing. We've played these games before where all of us are very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of us are going out there. Maybe Mark, probably Mark more so than a lot of these games can start getting aggressive. I think all of us need to have that aggressive gene, and not all of us did. Because here's the thing is, like I said, you got to get 3 metropolises. A metropolis will replace one of your construction sites on an area you control. So eventually you have to expand so that you can get more buildings made in order to create more metropolis. So you really can't afford to turtle unless you're going to try to get those metropolises another way, either through heroes or philosophers. So maybe you could do that. So that's the thing about this game, is maybe just our game group is not the best for these types of area control, the dudes on a map style game. Also, this is a free-for-all game, and in every free-for-all game I've ever played, it can drag, because as soon as somebody takes a lead, then everybody else goes after that person. You know, it's called pulling the lobster or the crab back in the bucket when one starts to crawl out.
Oh, yeah.
Which can make a game drag. So, oh, look, Mark's getting ready to get his 3rd one. Well, let's just go over there and just beat the crap out of him. All right, that takes care of that. Oh, look, Marty's getting ready to get his 3rd one. Go beat the crap out of him. Back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
This is why my negative take on this game is it can drag like any of those other free-for-all games, and I wish it was timed. StarCraft had the same issue. The classic game that we love, it would drag for that reason. The replacement game, Forbidden Stars, fixed it by having an X number of rounds, and then you have you determine a winner after that number of rounds. I kind of wish this had a round counter.
And then whoever has the most gets a win. I'm good with that.
And if it's tie, there's tiebreakers. That's me, because towards the end I was like, Bert said, Marty's king making. I didn't intentionally do it. I wasn't trying to get you to win. King making is like when I pick who the winner's going to be. I was wanting to is there a way I can make this game a little more exciting or something? And I screwed up. I didn't realize I was going to make it that easy for you. But anyway.
Well, you didn't. You know, he made it easy by putting 2 metropolises in one
Bert made
land.
it easy for you because he put 2 metropolises in one spot, and basically you took that spot over, and that was instant game right there. So, 2020 hindsight, he wouldn't have done it that way. But anyway, so you can do this thing called king making. It can kind of drag after a while. So I don't know how you fix that.
There's one thing that I think this one, the Legendary Edition, you have the classic mode, which we just talked about. Team mode. Team mode may be different, I think.
That may fix it, because then it's not a free-for-all, right? It's basically us against them.
So how do we go after them? What do we need? What's our strategy? So then it becomes really a 1 versus 1, even though it's a mind of 4, and you have to protect your partner, and that's another part of strategy.
Right. I may like that more. And in fact, this game supports up to 6 players, and then you have to play teams. You have to play 3v3.
Right. Oh, I can see that dragging. Oh my gosh.
If it was a 6-player free-for-all, that would drag like crazy.
Yeah. There's a game that you really enjoy that is similar to this, and the name left me. It's the one where it has
Clash of Cultures?
Clash of Cultures, that's it. Yeah. How do you compare this to that?
I like Clash of Cultures way better, because I love the bidding mechanic in this. But Clash of Cultures has another thing I like even potentially more, tech trees. I love basically being able to build up my civilization the way I want to and have some special abilities and stuff. It can have that same thing of it's a free-for-all, right? I understand that. So it can fall in that same sort of thing. And Clash of Cultures is a longer game, But for me, the slow burn, I appreciate.
All right. That's it for me on this game.
This is like some people's just in their top 10, top 5 games of all time. I understand that. I see it. I think the brilliance of the bidding and the auction is in it. This style of area control is absolutely brilliant. The way everything works. Sometimes you want to take that top god, not necessarily because of his abilities, because you want to activate before somebody else does.
Right.
Because you also resolve from the top down. And it's like, I really need to go before Mark goes, because if I do, I can grab this monster or this hero that I really, really want, sort of deal. So even that part's really clever too. Cyclades Legendary Edition, I'm glad it got redone, remade. For those who love the original game, I think you're going to love this game. I think it looks great on the table. If you've never played, I think it's one of those classic games that I think everybody needs to experience at least once, and then you can decide on your own. Are you looking for a playing surface to play your games at home? But it's like, what? I don't want to invest in a brand new table. I've got this fold-up table over here that we use, or this dining room table that we just play on. Then maybe you should consider a game topper from Gametoppers LLC.com. This is from our good friend Berkey, who has really engineered a nice solution of a portable game topper that can be taken apart, pre-assembled, just left set up on your table. Has a nice rail system with a gameplay area. You have all these accessories you can attach to the rail system, such as cup holders and dice holders and token holders. You also have these nice playing mats that you can put in there of all varying sizes. And your game topper is of varying sizes too, from little squares to larger rectangles. So whatever playing surface you want to put this on, or whatever playing surface you want to play on, a lot of different options. And like I said, really well designed with either aluminum style rails that are black. You can have wood grain rails. You can have some with little art inlays and everything. Just a lot of different options. So if you've never looked at it, head over to GameToppersLLC.com. Look at all their solutions. Pick one for yourself and get it shipped to you. We use it all the time. I have one down in my basement set up permanently. Tony has one that he uses when he has some people over. We love it. We enjoy it. You haven't got to spend thousands of dollars on a playing table when you can just buy one of these from GameToppersLLC.com.
Five-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
Tony, I don't think you ever played the game Raha of the Ganges. It's a classic game. I did. I enjoyed it. Well, they came out with a shorter version of the game, or kind of taking some of the same mechanics and rethemed it, called Cards and Karma. This is from Inca Brand and Marcus Brand. And in this game, it's a tableau builder, or you're building a little tableau in front of you with cards. You got to mark it out in front of you. And these are multi-use cards. The backs of the cards have dice and values, and that's what you will use to spend to buy cards that are in the market. So on your turn, you can take cards from the market, put it to your hand to use as dice, or spend dice from your hand to buy a card and put it into your tableau. There's different types of cards. There's ship cards, there's building cards, and some of them have immediate abilities. But your whole goal is to, through getting 3 of the same building, or 3 of the different building, or 3 of the same goods, or 3 different goods, to turn them in for, gold or fame, which is the kind of the goal here. The fame, you want to get these fame tokens. And once you either have 6 money or 3 fame, you're going to take one of your 6 cards that you started with at the beginning of the game that are laid down in front of you, and flip one of those over. It has an immediate ability and you get something for it. Once somebody has turned over all 6 cards, that will trigger the end of the game, and whoever has the most points wins.
So this is a set collection type of game. I mean, yeah. So other than the action of you take a dice or take a building, ship, whatever, you're trying to collect sets. And I mean, there are some unique mechanics with each type of card, like let's just as an example, take a ship card. When you take a ship card, as you build those up, they have to be in ascending order. If they're not, then you got to get rid of the previous ships. So that's something you have to take into account. So all this is important, that as you strategize, okay, as I build this tableau, one of the things that happens in this game that I liked was the fact that as we were playing the round, that the grid didn't keep filling up. You got to do 2 turns, and then the grid would refill. I like that aspect of the game, and the reason why is because I think it added to the strategy, because other than that, it's just collecting. It's set collection. That's it.
It is. I typically like games with multi-use cards, so I appreciate that, this has a really, that has a good die value that I need, but it also has the exact building that I need to. So there's those sort of decisions that you have to make. I like that part that sets it a little bit different. Like you said, the way the market works sets it a little bit different. I like that. The goal of the game is you have these 6 score tracker cards. That's basically, I think that's really unique too. You have to flip all 6 of them over. And depending on how you randomly put them out at the beginning of the game, they give you little bonuses as you go along. So it is kind of that classic like set collection, as you said, to collect particular resources, to turn in those resources, to get something. Yeah, there is another token that you can get that can adjust the value of a die. So that's nice too. So if you just can't find the exact value of a card that you need, you can collect these other tokens, which will adjust it. Some cards require certain color die, and you can combine the same color die together to add up the pips of those cards to make sure you meet or exceed the cost of the card. Some cards require an exact value. The ships require an exact value of any color. So all that has to be taken into consideration, because it's like, I want a handful of a bunch of different cards with a bunch of different values so I can buy when I need to.
Very light family game. I will say that. I don't know about the other one and how heavy it was and what the strategy. I can't speak to that.
Lot heavier. I mean, it was a full Euro, midweight Euro game. Yeah.
Yeah. And any game like this, I mean, this game did not resonate with me because it was just such a simple set collection game. We've played other ones that, it's like, oh, wow, there's a little bit more strategy to this. But I did appreciate the karma to adjust the thing. And I also appreciated the administrator on this game, which gave you, when you collected an administrator, he gave you the ability to do an additional action. He gave you a dice joker. It could be anything. Or you would get, 2 additional dice. You could take 2 dice cards if you turned them in. So I like how they help speed the game along. Or if they didn't, it would just be like, okay, you go. Okay, did anybody collect anything? Okay, next round, let's go.
Do you feel this is something that, I know you play with a group of people that don't play a lot of heavier games. Could they understand this one?
They could definitely understand it. I don't think it would resonate with them as much. When people don't play the heavier games, they tend to like more of the interaction. This game doesn't provide that interaction between people, okay? And I think that's what they look for, So who knows? That's my thought. I appreciate being able, the lightness of it. I think I really do think it's a great family game. But other than that, not one that I would keep around on my shelves for me and Donna to play.
I'm probably going to fall into the same camp. I enjoy my time with it. I think there might be other set collection or tableau games I might put out before this one, but it's always one of those things that if it's something that you might be interested in, this is an inexpensive, small box game, plays 2 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes, so it's quick. If you're looking for something like that, check this out. It might exactly fill the need that you're looking for that lighter game, maybe a little filler before or after game night with your game group. Or if you just like the original game and you like the theme of the game of the original and want to try this version, that is Rajas of the Granges, Cards and Karma from R&R Games.
5-minute initiative is complete.
Hey there, I'm Hugh from Moderation, and if you like today's show, why not check out Roll for Riz, a podcast as ridiculous and cheesy as its title implies. You might have heard of Isekai. You might have heard of Reverse Isekai. But have you heard of D&D Reverse Isekai, where an adventuring party finds themselves in modern-day Japan with their powers completely and utterly intact? It sounds ridiculous, right? But it sounds like you want to listen to it, right? Find Roll for Riz wherever you can get your podcasts.
Unfortunately, we are recording not on a Sunday, so we will not be riveted with an amazing story from Star Wars Unlimited by Marty and how he won 1 of 2 or 0 of 3, or maybe he could have pulled off a championship. We don't know.
Well, I will say that this week I did go on eBay and buy some cards I need for a deck that I'm building. So.
Oh my! He bought a Devastator. Is that what that one was? Is that the one that's the big dog that you flip over and all damage goes? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
You're reading it right. You assign all indirect damage you deal to opponents. So typically indirect damage is, I'm going to deal you 3 indirect damage, and they assign it how they want. This bad boy, I get to choose how it's assigned. And when played, just deal 6 indirect damage to each opponent, which makes this really good for Twin Suns formats when you're playing multiplayer.
So what's the cost on putting that one out? I don't even remember.
It is 8. So it is definitely a late game card, but it is a capital ship. And I have the card in my deck that says, hey, deal 8 indirect damage unless you own a capital ship, deal 12 damage. So obviously pulling this card out, and then the next round, playing the other card, I can deal 12 direct damage to your base. And at that late point in the game, I should be able to take you out.
You should be able to. That's it. It's done. It's all over. I'm just curious. Are the cards coming down on eBay, or how is the secondary market?
It's good. It's good. There's nothing really outrageous. Most of the more up-to-date, more recent legendaries are 20 or less. Mm-hmm. And, from the first set, they were going 50, 60. Mm-hmm. They were really high up there. So, yeah, they've really come down. But what's happened is, as the card pool gets bigger, there's less cards now that, I've got to have that one because there's so many. Mm-hmm. And the first 3 sets are rotating out. So, you don't want to go and buy a Luke legendary from the very first set that costs $50 because this time next year, you can't even use them anymore.
So all those 3 that I have... So what happens to those? Can I use any of the cards from the first 3 set?
It depends on what format. If you're going to play in a game form, in a format at a store, it's like use any card you want, like a legacy format, fine. But if it's like a legit tournament, you can't. Those have rotated out.
Okay. And that's next year.
That's next year. So if there's something that's like, if you got some extras, sell them, make some money.
Okay. I'll have to look and see. I don't know. It's been a while. I mean, work has just been so crazy that I cannot get to our game night to be able to play. Mm-hmm. I'll have to get there. I'll work on getting that scheduled a little bit better. But a big thing happened this past week, and we had to shift game night so somebody could get his beauty rest because somebody had to get him a Switch 2. And there was a lot of drama over in our Discord about this. You need to explain to me, Walmart canceled your order? What?
So at 11:30 p.m., I set the alarm. Vanessa and I got up.
What a woman. What a woman right there getting up to help you.
She gets into this stuff. So basically, Target, Walmart, and Best Buy pre-orders go live at midnight. And I'm watching a stream of people, 25,000 people watching, of a guy directing people where to go when he sees stock pop in and what to do. Like, for example, the Best Buy and Walmart have queues. He said, once you're in a queue, never refresh, just sit there. Eventually you'll get it. Target, you got to F5, F5 that baby over and over again. During that time, Vanessa was able to get one at Target. Vanessa was able to get one at Best Buy. I was able to get 2 at Walmart and 1 at Best Buy. And I thought, okay, we're good. And it's like, Marty, why are you taking all of them? Because me and my kids are all trying to do this. We just want 4. Our goal is to get 4. And what if we ended up with something extra? I'm just going to cancel the order. So I'm not going to get it and try to scalp it or anything like that. So that's the whole goal, is because me and my 3 sons all want one. And basically they'll pay me and all that, whatever. It's not like a gift. They got to pay me for this thing, So anyway, so that was the goal. So we felt, okay, we're good. And then right before I went to bed, I got an email from Walmart saying, got an email from Best Buy. I did get one at Best Buy saying, we've canceled your order, which was going to be my midnight pickup. So the goal was also to have a midnight pickup. That was my goal because Best Buy was doing that. No reason. They had already debited my account. Yeah, we're canceling your order. I'm like, but I don't understand why.
Why?
No reason. Just said we didn't authorize this. And then all of a sudden I get a credit back in my account. So it wasn't like the money wasn't in the account or anything like that. Anyway, so I was frustrated. I accidentally got 2 from Walmart. So I was freaking out because the guy on the stream said, you got to be careful with Walmart. If they see 2 going to the same address, they may cancel your order. So I canceled one of those. So now I'm only down to a couple. So the next morning I get up and I go stand in line at GameStop. Now this is funny. There's been pictures from all over the country. People are camping out at GameStop. It's like, crap. Well, let me go see what I can do at my store. So I said, I'll get there 2 hours early. It opens at 11. I get there at 9. I walk in the mall and nobody's there.
Oh, wow.
Like, all right, well, I guess I'm first in line. And so basically I set up my little chair because I brought a little chair and a book. And it's like, well, I guess I'm going to do what all the old people do at the mall. As they're going by me every 5 minutes, I'm just going to walk the mall. So I walked a couple miles in the mall, getting my steps in for the day. And I kept going back by, making sure that, my chair was still there or whatever, and that nobody else lined up. Nobody else even showed up till 10:30. And then people started coming in. There were 35 at this particular store, and there were 18 people that showed up to get it. I said, do you do midnight openings? And he said, well, no, we're in the mall. They won't let us do that. I was like, well, that's why I came here, because I want to do a midnight pickup. So I said, well, fine, let me go to the other GameStop, which is not in the mall. So I'll walk over there. There's only one person sitting there because they don't open till noon. I said, fine, well, I'm just going to sit here with this guy. And then about 20 minutes before, 18 more people line up. I go in and it's like, I got one. Are you doing the midnight release? Yes. Awesome. I want one. Thank you. They only had 35 there. So Vanessa said, well, I'm going to go to try to get one after work. And I said, there's no way they got any left.
No way.
She goes to that GameStop. They have 4 left. 4 left. So she nabs one. And so now it's basically, okay, cool. So we can cancel on these online orders in case they start canceling stuff. And we know that locally we could just get what we need when we need it. That's my story of the Switch 2.
And, we talked about this at the game store of just, are you going to be able to get this? Is it going to be something that's easy to get? And you're like, we'll see. I was a little concerned about, are they going to do this? Because, you're not trying to drag it up anything with tariffs, but you never do know how much it's going to cost. And are they going to want to hold off on that? But that's pretty good that you were able to get that. I would have never have been able to do that. I just don't see that happening.
It was fun. And Vanessa got into it. She was all on adrenaline. And it's like, that was exciting. I love doing stuff like this. So she really gets into it.
Well, I bet she's really excited because isn't the Hallmark, I saw the wish list come out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's funny. There's only like a few things in the Hallmark list I actually want this year. But yeah, it's out.
Okay. Well, cool. All right. Well,
so
there you go.
You need to look through it and let me know if you want anything. We put it on
I did. I didn't see anything that I needed.
Okay.
I appreciate it. But I was like, oh, do I need any of this? Nah. My little ornament tree sits out on the porch. The lights never go on it. So why would I go ahead and get this thing? So I don't know.
Now, I will say before we hop out of here, I do want to give a quick preview, a game, Tony, that you and I got to play this on GameFound right now, Hubworld Aidalon. This is from Earthborn Games, the same people that made Earthborn Rangers. We got some demo decks to try out. This is not a paid preview or anything, y'all. So this is just us. I wanted to try it because the people from Earthborn used to work at FFG during the time of Netrunner. They love that game. They saw a demo of this game. It's like, wow, this feels like Netrunner. So Tony got us a couple of demo decks. We played it, and you know what? For sure, it has that Netrunner feel. It is a LCG type game, constructible game, where you are basically trying to lay out a tableau of cards that the other person is trying to access and get through to your hand or your deck or your discard pile in order to steal agents. And the first person who gets 3 agents win, but you can block the path, make it hard for them to get to your agents. There's bluffing. So it has the heart and soul of Netrunner, but it's not an asymmetric game because each side plays the exact same way.
Yeah. I was very surprised by that when you said that. I was like, there's no way it can give it, but it did. It gave you the feels of Netrunner, and I really do appreciate that. I know you talked to say, hey, do we want to back this? We'll probably put some money on this one. Just, do I need another collectible in my...
It's not a collectible.
I know, but that's the first thing people say. No, it's not a collectible. So
they're only releasing 2 sets a year. And it's not going to be like little small packs. It's like, here's a box of X number of new cards. Go to town. Have some fun. So it is different. So it's not the collectible. So it's much cheaper to get into. The thing is, though, how will the organized play competitive scene be? LCGs typically never do well in a competitive play. To me, I wouldn't be doing it for competitive play. No. I'd be doing it if I just have somebody, you and I used to get together and play Netrunner, really enjoyed it. It also supports multiplayer. So I really like the 4-player rules. Basically, you can go after anybody, but you have to steal one agent from each person at the table. Mm-hmm. So you can't keep picking on the same person, which I like. So that means it kind of distributes it. There's really no kingmaker. I mean, obviously you're going for the win also, nor is there pull somebody back down. Once you have an agent, you're not going to steal an agent. Somebody else can't take that agent from them. So it's really a race to 3 at that point. Well,
as you were teaching it, I was like, okay, I understand this. Of course, it's all going to come down to keywords, terminology eventually. But yeah, I like that. It was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that game. But what I'm really going to enjoy is rolling some dice.
And taking some names. Hey y'all, thanks for listening. If you want to support the show in any way, you can do that over at buymeamoonpie.com. We appreciate all those that donate a little bit here and there each month. It really helps the show keep going as we pay for servers and everything like that. And after 350 episodes, if you just want to say, hey guys, I appreciate what you do, you can just give like a little one-time donation, which is cool too, and we'd very much appreciate it. Again, you can also find that over at rolldicetakenames.com or go straight to buymeamoonpie.com.
Show's over, right?
Yep, we're done.
Okay, I gotta go to Walmart. I gotta get me some Nutty Buddy stuff. That stuff was so good.
Hey there, Hugh from Moderation here. If you like today's show, then why not have a listen to Why We Roll, the dedicated TTRPG design podcast. It's hosted by Wythe and Chris, 2 professional TTRPG designers, and it's all about talking to the people that make our favourite games in the tabletop world and understanding what goes into that decision-making process, how you build something that's not just fun to play, but fun to experience. And we're not talking about how we roll, but learning why exactly we make those decisions. Check it out on our website at podderation.com.